Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of math section from SAT Practice Test 2. I scored perfectly on SAT math section, and as I go through these questions, I'll show you the most efficient way to answer each and every question. Additionally, I'll give you tips and tactics you will need to know before taking the SAT math section. If you want to support my hard work, like and subscribe. And now let's get started with the first question. Hey guys, so we're continuing with the digital SAT mod 2 today, and let's get started with the first question. There are 55 students in the Spanish club. A sample of Spanish club students was selected at random and asked whether they intend to enroll in a new study program. Of those surveyed, 20% responded that they intend to enroll in the study program. Based on the survey, which of the following is the best estimate of the total number of Spanish club students who intend to enroll in the study program? So basically, they're saying that 20% of the students are intended to enroll the study program, which is 55 students are total. So basically, you're going to calculate 20% of the 55, number 55. And here's an easy trick for you guys. If you're calculating 20% of something, you have to divide that number by 5 and get a result, which is 11. So that's how you do it. If they ask 10%, you would divide it with 10 in order to get it, and that would be 5.5. And since 20 is twice as 10, 11 is twice as 5.5, which makes totally sense. So this is a quick trick. There are many methods to take percentage. I usually do 20 divided by 100 times 55, but there are also other ways. It depends on what kind of person you are and how do you want to solve the question. So question number 2. Jay walks at a speed of 3 miles per hour and runs at a speed of 5 miles per hour. He walks for W hours and runs for R hours for a combined total of 14 miles. So basically, first of all, in this question, when I read it, I just uh, reflexly, I actually just say 3 W, which is walking, plus 5 R's are equal to 14 miles, which is actually answer choice A. So basically, in questions like this, where they ask 3 miles per hour and like they walk and they run for 5 miles per hour, and they're W hours and they're like 14 kilometers, you usually end up doing some variables and you associate those variables with those coefficients of numbers, which is 3 and 5 in this case, and you just set them equal to something, and they were just asking for this. The scatter plot shows the relationship between two variables, x and y. A line of best fit is also shown. Which of the following equations best represents the line of best fit shown? So make sure that you don't use these equations for the data points because they're actually asking for the line of best fit, which is going right between these data plots. And you have to set an equation which shouldn't conflict with this line of best fit. So basically, there is a beautiful point which is 4 to something around 9.8. This point is very a close point which I can identify. Therefore, I use my values 4 to, let's say, 9 point something. All right, you can also say 10. It's just going to be an approximate number because it's not exactly 10 and I don't see any exact points. So what I want to do is I'm just going to plug this 4 as my x value into this equations and try to obtain a value of 10 for my y value. When that happens, if I see something close to 10, I can say that that's going to be my answer choice. And looking to this answer choices, I just realized that it has to be A because whatever I plug for other like B or C or D, I'm never gonna get close to 10 because like if I plug it here, I'm getting a negative number. If I plug it here, I'm not getting something close to 10. I'm probably ending up something around like 6 or something. And over here, we're getting a smaller number. So it's basically going to be a. And when you plug this into a, I believe you got something around 9.6, I guess. 9.6-ish. So basically, guys, in the SAT, just don't do everything. Just use your pure logic. Logic is always the most helpful way to solve these type of questions. Also, you can make sure if you have time, but believe me, efficiency and time is the most important thing in the SAT, so you don't want to lose a lot of time for this type of question. There are definitely going to be harder questions in the SAT, and you should be prepared for them. You shouldn't lose your time in this, like, they're, to be honest, if you study enough, they're really easy questions. Anyway, the graph of y equals f of x is shown on in the xy plane. What is the value of f of 0? So if you're out there asking for f of 0, see, this is for x values, and we just plug x values inside the function. So you're looking for the x value, which is 0, which is on this line, which is on your y-axis. They're actually asking you for your y-intercept. So you just, maybe you want to draw a line, whatever you want to do, and whenever you touch the other line, it means that you have a y-intercept, and your y-intercept is 0 to 3. Make sure that always y-intercepts have 0 x's. Your x value has to be 0, and you're gonna have a y value. You might not even have a y-intercept in a function. There are some functions which doesn't have a y-intercept, but if you do, you're definitely not having an x value. It's going to be a 0. So your answer choice is going to be D. What is the median of the data shown? So basically, guys, if you want to find the median of a data set, what you got to do is first you got to sort them from less to greater numbers. Looking to this data plot, I see it's actually listed less to greater, so it's gonna save us a lot of time. But if it wasn't, you're just gonna sort them like 73, 74, 75, 77. You should make sure that it's sorted in the correct order. After that, just count how many data are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9. So it's an odd number. If it's an odd number, just divide them by half. Just get rid of this 4 numbers, get rid of this 4 numbers, and this is going to be your median. If it was something like 10, let's say this is going to be 100, for example, just get rid of this 4 again, just get rid of this 4 again, and there will be 2 numbers in the middle. In that case, when there's even number of data sets, just take the average of these 2 median numbers, which is 79 plus 82. When you're taking average, you should just add the numbers together and divide by how many numbers you have, which is 2. So our median would be this if we had 100 or something else, something greater as another value in this data set. So just let's find our median. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and our median is 79. What is the value of the solution to the given equation? X plus 40 equals to 95. Just subtract 40 from both sides. I'm subtracting 40. And when I subtract 40, x is equal to 95 minus 40, which is 55. Question number 8. The solution to the given system of equations is xy. What is the value of x plus y? Let's just write down the equations. 5x plus 5x equals to, I'm sorry, 5x equals to 15, negative 4x plus y equals to negative 2. So guys, since in the second equation we have 2 different variables, we'll never be able to get an absolute value for one of the variables. We're never going to have a certain value. So it's impossible for you to solve this. You just can't make a graph. But for equations like this, where you have one variable, you can just get the value from trying to do some things. Like, For example, I see that there is a coefficient of x over here. So since I just want to leave x alone in order to know what x is, I just can divide everything with 5. So x is going to be equal to 15 over 5, which is also equal to 3. Very wonderful news. Now you can plug your beautiful x value into the second equation. Negative 4 times 3 plus y equals to negative 2. Great news. Now you can solve this equation too because you have one variable. So it's going to be negative 12 plus y equals to negative 2. Now I want to add plus 12 both sides. Do you know why? It's just because there is a negative 12 hanging around here with my y, but I want my y to be alone. Guys, again, you want your variables to stay alone. You don't want them with other things if you want to find or solve for a variable. So just get rid of this negative 12. Just add 12 both sides. So it's going to be y is equal to 12 minus 2, and 12 minus 2 is going to be equal to 10. Now we got our y value, we got our x value, and the question is asking for x plus y. So what we're going to do is add 10 plus 3, and here we go, answer choice C. Question number 5. Sorry for skipping. Which expression is equivalent to where M, Q, and Z are positive? The hardest thing of this question, guys, is actually reading the question because it's very damn long, and actually it's easier to solve it rather than reading the question, to be honest. So when you're just multiplying this dynamic expressions, when you're just duplicating them, when you're multiplying them, just multiply this m with over here, and m to the fourth power times m has to be m to the fifth. Q to the fourth times q to the fifth is going to be q to the ninth, and z to the negative first times z to the third is going to be z to the second power, which is answer choice B. If you're multiplying fraction expressions like m to the fourth times m to the third, and you're struggling with multiplying them, just remember that you have to multiply these exponents. If you don't even remember that, you just can try that. You just use 2 as your example and just do it on the exam. It's literally, if you're struggling with this, you just can do like 2 to the second power times 2 to the third power. What is 2 to the second power? 4 times 2 to the third power is 3/8. So what we end up should be 32, and just try to obtain 32. What is 32 equal to? 2 to the fifth power. So you should realize that we're actually adding those exponents and ending up with the answer. This is what we do. Also, if you have a negative or a division, which is like m to the fourth divided by m, just get rid of the m and just make this a 3. All right. I hope you're not struggling with this exponents. I might make another video about exponents. If you guys want to, just let me know on the comments what topics are you struggling with on the SAT math. We can focus on them. I'm trying to focus on every single topic which you might encounter on, but I would like to know what the people are, what like the community is struggling with. All right. Question number 9. The given function g models the number of gallons of gasoline that remains from a full gas tank in a car after driving m miles. According to the model, about how many gallons of gasoline are used to drive each mile? So basically, in this g of m function, I see that there is a coefficient of m, which is negative 0 to 0.05. So basically, for every increase in m by 1, when you increase m by 1, let's say m is equal to, m was 0, and when I increase it to 1, the difference is the g of m will decrease by 0.05. So basically, according to the model, about how many gallons of gasoline are used to drive each mile. For each mile, we're actually losing 0.05. Is this gallons? Yeah, gallons of gasoline. So our answer choice has to be A, which is our slope of this function. Question number 10. The given equation relates the positive numbers b, x, and y. Which equation correctly expresses x in terms of b and y? So if you want to get x, you just can cross multiply these terms and get another equation. Remember, guys, if you have a fraction like 3 to the fifth, 3 over 5, I'm sorry, to 6 over 10, you just can cross multiply them and just end up with an equation which will be also accurate and true. So you should be able to do this, and this will be a very helpful way of solving fractional equations. Of course, you can just, multiply this with 7b. After that, you can multiply with y, but that will be a big problem, and you don't want to just lose your time with that. Just cross multiply them. So y times 1 equals to 7b times 11x. Therefore, y is equal to 7b, actually, I'm sorry, 77bx, and they're actually asking for x. So since they're asking for x, I want to leave x alone and divide everywhere with 77b, and I end up with y over 77b. Answer choice C. The graphs of the given equations in the xy plane intersect at the point xy. What is a passable value for x? All right. So actually, in the first one, we actually know our y value. Our y value is 76. All right. So y is equal to x squared minus 5. If y is equal to 76, we can just use it in this equation as well. 76 is equal to x squared minus 5. All right. So let's just subtract 76 from both sides. 0 equals to x squared minus is it 81? Yeah, 81. All right. Now, before continuing on the question, I want to show that if we have something like x squared minus a squared, we have a minus sign between two squares. What we can do is x minus a times x plus a will also be equal to this fraction. And if we do this in our question, we're actually going to end up finding the roots of this equation. So if we find a root, we can just plug this in, and then actually they're asking for our x value, which is our root. So it's going to be x minus 9 or x plus 9, since 81 is the square of 9. Therefore, our answer choice either is 9 or negative 9. So they actually can't put them both if they're asking for x. Sometimes in questions where you don't have multiple choices, they accept both answers. So in this question, the answer choice, I'm sorry, it's negative 9. Also, there is another way of solving it. After you end up with 76 equals to x squared minus 9, what you can do is just plug the x values from the answer choice if you're not able to solve a question like this. And when you're plugging them, you just have to make sure they're equal to 76. First of all, I wouldn't try to plug something like this because this would take a lot of time. So I would try from easier ones like 5 if I wasn't able to solve this question. And I would try until I obtain this correct equation, and after that I could solve the question. Believe me, guys, sometimes there will be questions where you won't be able to solve on the real SAT, but you always have to come up with smarter ways of solving questions so you can manage the critical situations in your exam. So yeah, question number 12. The point x 53 is a solution to the system of the inequalities in the xy plane. Which of the following could be the value of x? Very good question, guys. So basically, we know that our y value is 53. So I'm not going to write y for this question's answer. I'm always going to use 53 wherever I see y because it's simpler and it makes more sense. 53 is greater than 14. Correct. This is a correct statement. Yeah. 4x plus 53 is less than 18. So basically, whenever you actually, I want to ask you if you add something 53 and it's less than 18, that means that your something is less than 0 because even if I plug 0 for my x, I'm still not getting this inequality, which means my x has to be a negative value. So I basically get rid of C and D. All right. So inequalities like this, you just can subtract and act like an equation. So 4x is less than negative what? Negative 35. Yeah. And x is going to be less than negative 35 over 4. Okay. Negative 35 over 4 should be equal around negative 8.75 something. And since my x is less than negative 8.75, my answer choice has to be A. All right, question number 13. Out of 300 seeds that were planted, 80% sprouted. How many of these seeds sprouted? Okay, if I have 300 is my 100% and 80% of this was sprouted, how much would I have? And I actually don't want to confuse anybody. I'm just gonna solve it in an easier way. You're basically solving for 80% of 300. What you can do is 80 over 100. So as I said, guys, there are many ways of solving this question type, but um, like it's whichever do you think if it's convenient for you, you can just use either method. I have a other method. By the way, we just multiply this with 80 over 100, and because this is 80% and we end up with 240. My method is a little bit more different. I just say 300 if my 100% is 300, okay, and my I'm looking for my 80%. I just put here in a little x and cross multiply them, and 300 times 80 equals to 100x, and I solve for x, so I just get rid of this and I end up with 240, which is actually the same thing. It's just an elementary way of thinking because I learned this in middle school to solve a question like this. But many people, it differs to teacher to be honest. And however method you're good with, you just go for it. Just find your own way to solve this question. As I said, there are multiple ways of solving it. If you don't have a method, you just can just multiply the number which you want to find the percentage of, and just when you see a percent, just multiply that with the percent over 100. The function is f is defined by f of x equals to 4x. For what value of x does f of x equal to 8? So f of x is actually also known for y. We actually can call this y because in a graph, when we have a graph called f of x, our y values, which are like over here, is actually representing our f of x. All right, so I just can say y is equal to 4x, and for what value y is equal to 8. So it actually make this a two equation question and just solve for it. So if y is equal to 8, 8 is equal to 4x, and divide both sides with 4 in order to get rid of this coefficient of your x and just leave x alone. 8 over 4 is going to be equal to x, which is also equal to 2. X is equal to 2. Which expression is equivalent to this? Another gigantic expression, fraction, where x is greater than 7. By the way, in cases like this, you never can use x as a value of 7 since you're going to obtain a value of undefined. So this is basically, this would be undefined if x was 7. Anyway, just keep that in mind. Sometimes they ask for questions like that. 8x times x minus 7, negative 3, x minus 7 divided by 2, x minus 14. So in the bottom, I just can pull out this 2 as a common factor and just write this as 2 times x minus 7. If you realize, you just can, I just can prove this is right by um, distributing this 2 inside and just ending up with the same uh, expression. So therefore, I want to write this in this form because I want to get rid of this x minus 7s, and I just can't simplify them. Therefore, in the top, I have 2x minus 7s. So I just can factor this one out, and x minus 7 times 8x, which is a coefficient of this x minus 7, and also negative 3, which is negative 3 is also the coefficient of this x minus 7. This is going to be my top, and as I showed, my bottom is 2 times x minus 7. Since I have x minus 7s in the bottom and the bottom and the top, I just can eliminate them. I just can cancel them, and I end up with 8x minus, I'm sorry, minus 3 over 2, which is B. All right, just last 2 questions, and we're gonna be done with today. Line P is defined by 2y plus 18x equals 9. Line R is perpendicular to the line P in the xy plane. What is the slope of line R? So guys, if there is a perpendicular line for something, it has to be, when you multiply a normal line with a perpendicular line slope, if you multiply their slope, you're going to end up with -1. This is the rule. You will end up with -1. So therefore, what we will do in this question is, first of all, we're going to calculate the slope of this first line, which is P. After that, we're going to we're going to find which value would be if we multiplied it and ended up with -1. And we're going to solve for that value, which is going to be our R, our slope of line R. We can call it whatever we want, and we're going to solve the question. Anyway, 2y plus 18x equals 9. But awesome, I don't know how to find y. How am I going to find, actually, how am I going to find the slope, more importantly? Guys, so if you want to find the slope, first of all, you can't find the slope from a form like this. Just make sure that you leave y alone, especially in functions, guys. You should more importantly focus on leaving y alone. Of course, there will be some questions which they ask for your x value. There are many other circumstances, but in this question, we're leaving y alone and just finding the function. All right, therefore, I just subtract 9 from both sides. 2y plus 18x minus y equals to 0. And I subtract -2y. Actually, I subtract 2y from both sides. And 18x minus 9 is equal to -2y. And I also, this is a 9 by the way, divide both sides with -2. 18x minus 9 divided by -2 is equal to y. Now, thankfully, I found my function. This is my function y. And now I want to find the slope. But how are we going to find the slope, guys? So the slope is the coefficient in front of x. But make sure, guys, don't make no mistake, guys. So if you're talking about the coefficient of x, this is not 18. This is wrong. This is not 18. It has to be divided first. Therefore, we're going to divide 18 over -2. This is going to be our x minus 9 over -2. We just can write this as like something like this in order to find our coefficients of x equals to y. We didn't do any difference in this function. We didn't do anything. We just took this -2 fraction and just distribute it for both of this 18x and -9. Therefore, my coefficient, my slope will be 18 divided by -2, which is -9. So we found our slope for the first line, P. Our slope for P, I'm going to call it MP. But make no mistake, guys, my answer choice is not -9. My answer choice will be whether when I multiply MP times R, because they're perpendicular, I'm going to end up with -1. So I know my MP, which is -9, times R, which I'm trying to find for the question's answer, is equal to -1. Therefore, I just divide both sides with -9, and in order to find MR, and MR is equal to -1 over -9, which is 1 over 9. So my slope will be 1 over 9. The given function of f models the number of coupons of companies sent to their customers at the end of each year, where t represents the number of years since the end of 1998 and 0 t is greater than 0 and less than 5 if y equals to f of t is graphed in the ty plane. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the y-intercept of the graph in this context? Basically, just you're gonna check the answer choices and clarify whatever one is correct or not. You just have to confirm them. So the minimum estimated number of coupons the company sent to their customers during 5 years was 1,428. So when I plug here 5, I just can use my calculator. 0 to the 5, 0.5 times 0.65, 0.65, 0.65, and 0.65 times 8,000. Therefore, I didn't get this value, so this is not correct. The minimum estimated number of coupons the company sent to their customers during 5 years was 8,000. This is wrong. The estimated number of coupons the company sent to their customers at the end of 1998 was this, but actually it starts with 1998. So basically, if we're talking at the end of the 1998 year 1998, we're gonna plug 0 for t, and if I plug 0 for exponent, this will be 1, and when I multiply 8,000 with 1, this is not gonna be correct. It's gonna be 8,000, and this is what answer choice D states. Therefore, my answer choice is going to be D. So guys, I'm very glad that we did this today. I hope you understood very well. My explanations were good. And if you have any questions or any other demands of concepts you want to go on, just let me know on the comments. The SAT, digital SAT is approaching in March, and you guys still have time in order to prepare for the SAT. There are like a lot of days in front of you. So even in this 2-3 weeks, you will be able to learn a lot of things. Just don't lose your hope, guys. I believe in you. I hope you liked. I hope you subscribed and just follow for more.